What's up, Prolly Gamers? I'm never using that again. Anyways, I wanted to start off this channel with an explanation of why I'm a socialist. Before Mamdani's mayoral campaign, I was not particularly political. Sure, I pretended to know what I was talking about, but I had no clue. For a while, I was a social democrat. However, shortly after Mamdani's campaign blew up, I saw myself identify as a democratic socialist, which in theory is different from social democracy. Although in practice, it's far too close. I then continued moving further left, watching more leftist YouTubers, even reading socialist theory. Socialism, Utopian, and Scientific by Fredrick Engels was a true turning point. I'm moving myself more towards a libertarian Marxist standpoint. Over time, I began to sympathize more with past and current socialist experiments and read on science behind revolutions. This led to my current position as a Marxist-Leninist. Also, if you've seen Hakim's recent video on why he became a socialist, no, I did not steal that idea from him. I found the video writing this video and didn't watch it until after. This is based on an essay I wrote a few months ago. I'm a lower middle class American citizen. Both of my parents work, and if either of them lost their job, my family would risk losing basically everything. I have more than most in the imperial periphery, but less than most in my own country. However, importantly, both my parents are left-leaning. Obviously, this had a substantial impact on my political leanings. I've been under several leftist political liberals. 7th grade was a wild time. It's important to note that I am currently coming age in a time where fascism is rising, especially in my country. Hearing people justify fascism so much is only pushing me to have more revolutionary and, from the ruling class standpoint, extreme viewpoints. Moving left was merely the natural step based on my material conditions, which also explains why many other Americans are moving towards socialism. As I said earlier, my introduction to politics was through the mayoral campaign of Zerhan Mamdani. However, moving left came with my discovery of several leftist YouTubers, most notably Hakim, Overzealots, Oi, and VGR. These content creators definitely moved me toward my libertarian socialist leanings, despite most of them being Marxist-Leninists. The liberal so-called critiques of past socialist societies were just in the back of my head. Although, as I began reading theory, I began to understand that the issues are not inherent to Marxist-Leninist systems. The amount of context behind why they turned out the way they did is immeasurable, and many issues constantly repeated by liberals just don't exist or are drastically overblown in comparison to their and many issues were constantly repeated by liberals just don't exist or are drastically overblown in comparison to their successes. It was also through discussion with Marxist-Leninists online I began to fully move towards the thought. I eventually realized I had been in ML for weeks. I just hadn't identified with it. Yeah, I've been in ML for months now. I've kind of moved around in terms of where I am within the ML spectrum. Like I haven't like changed my ideology. Like I haven't been a Maoist or a Marxist or anything. I've just been in ML, but I've kind of leaned more towards different ways of thinking. Socialism as an economic system is worker control of the means of production. That's the simplest way. Under socialism, the proletariat, or working class, has control over the economic and political system, also called the dictatorship of the proletariat. Now, this name seems misleading, but the Marxist definition of dictatorship isn't exactly what the liberal definition is. Marxists, we do not think that a dictatorship has to be one of a few people, but rather can be of an entire class. Under capitalism, we exist under a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie, where the rich class has all the power. The bourgeoisie only makes up around 1 to 2% of the population. The proletariat and transitionary classes make up the rest of the population. It's only logical that when the proletariat has control, it will be more reflective of the general will of the people. Even in practice, this does happen, and to all of them to an extent. While no socialist country has come anywhere near a perfect system, they're nowhere near where capitalism presents them as, and are often better systems than capitalist ones. I don't believe socialism is perfect, nor do I believe communism to be perfect, but I believe these systems to be so much better than what we have now. This obviously is not supposed to be an in-depth explanation of socialism. It's just my experiences that led me towards this path, and hopefully to inspire some people to look into it. I've linked some great YouTube channels and works in the description. The specific works I've linked that I really recommend checking out. Very quick reads, like reading, like it's hard to get into. I know, I'm still getting into it, but like these are relatively quick reads. Socialism, Utopian, Scientific by Fredrick Engels, Wage Slavery and Capital by Karl Marx, and On Practice by Mao. All very good starting points. Like again, if you want to understand Marxist theory or even just the world around you, you gotta read these kinds of things. It's imperative. Okay. That's just actually it for this video. I'm done.